Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another Lunch and Learn. This is our second disaster training. And this afternoon, we have Ms. Yvonne Perez Suarez joining us. She is a consumer advocate with the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. She has been with the agency since 2012, and she serves consumers in South Florida by educating residents about the steps they can take to avoid becoming victims of fraud and unfair or deceptive trade practices. She's responsible for expanding the department's current initiative to reach Florida's nearly 2 million residents with important messages about their rights as consumers and helping them identify the needs of South Florida's consumers and ensuring their needs are met with consumer assistance and information. Ms. Perez Suarez started her career working with former United States Senator, followed by working as a special assistant to 3 City of Miami mayors from 1990 to 1997, after which she served as corporate public relations manager at the Biltmore Hotel in Coral Gables and went on to serve as director of communications for Miami-Dade County Commissioners. She holds a BA in International Relations with a minor in history from Florida International University in 1990. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I now welcome you. Ms. Suarez, I'll let you take over. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. So yes, I represent the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. And I'm here to talk to you a little bit about our department and a portion of our department that a lot of people are not aware of. And that is that we oversee in the state of Florida everything that is consumer related, consumer fraud, consumer prevention. So we serve as the clearinghouse in the state of Florida. And our department is currently led by Florida Commissioner of Agriculture, Nikki Fried. And so my contact information is here, and I'll share it with you all. You can contact me for these kinds of presentations or in-person presentations. I cover the 6 counties in South Florida region, and my presentations and webinars are available in English and Spanish. So why would someone contact our department? So again, we serve as the clearinghouse in the state of Florida. We offer information and we also take complaints statewide. So you would contact us because you need to check a business or a charitable organization, which I will go into a little later, because you need to file a consumer complaint, which you can do with us either via email, phone call, or chat. Or you just do not know where to go and to present your case and you need assistance. So those are the 3 main reasons why you would contact us. We also have a number for our Spanish speakers. So within our department, there are certain regulatory programs that we cover. And that means for us that if you want to open up a business within one of these industries, you would need a license from our department before you receive a license from the city or the county where you're opening up your business. And here are the programs that we regulate. As you can see, a lot of people may not even be aware that, for example, pawnbrokers are regulated by us, health studios. So if you want to open up a gym, a Pilates, a yoga studio, you need a license from our department. Charitable organizations are also in the state of Florida are also regulated with us. And so as you can see, we have quite a range of industries that we oversee. And this is just the division of consumer services within the Department of Agriculture. So what happened in 2021? What happened was that we received 35,000 complaints. It was rather a slow year, but we received 35,000 complaints. We secured refunds for Floridians at almost $2.4 million in refunds, and assisted 190,274 residents. That means via the calls, chat rooms, and emails. So this is what we did last year. Now, what are the top 5 complaints? You're not going to probably be very surprised about the numbers, but the number 1 complaint are those unsolicited communications, the calls, the robocalls that we just keep on getting. And if you will see between the first top one and the second top one, it's a huge difference by the number of complaints that we do receive. So unsolicited communications, the moving and storage complaints was number 2, landlord tenant at number 3, petroleum at number 4, and motor vehicle repair at number 5, because we do oversee the motor vehicle repair shops. Now, just like any other criminal, the scammer has a profile. And what is their profile? Well, these are folks that follow the headlines. They change their scams with the headlines. They are professional. They know exactly how to take advantage of a situation and of people. And they use high pressure tactics to appeal to your emotion. And most of the scams that you will see appeal to people's emotions. So what are the top 10 scams targeting adults? Medicare and health insurance scams, counterfeit prescription drugs, funeral and cemetery, fraudulent anti-aging products, telemarketing and phone scams, internet fraud, investment schemes, homeowner and reverse mortgage scams, sweepstakes and lottery scams, and the grandparent scam. Now, a lot of the scams and the industries targeted are seasonal, which means we'll see a higher number of scams, for example, in the travel industry when the summer is approaching, or the holidays, November, December, January. That's the peak time for them. Moving companies as well. But then some are just evergreen, like the motor vehicle repair shops, the telemarketing, investments, those kinds of things are evergreen. So most of these start off with, especially the Medicare and health insurance scams, with when they obtain your social security number, your personal information from your primary physician or hospitals. They go in, they hack, or sometimes just people give out this information over the phone usually. The funeral and cemetery scams, the funeral is that they will check the viewings that day, and they will actually show up at the viewing and tell the family member that their loved one owes them a certain amount of money, and if they're not paid immediately, then law enforcement or they will take legal action against them. Some of these are now using Bitcoins. They're tying in Bitcoins. Okay. So, you could pay me through Bitcoins, like the grandparent scam. Your grandchild is, in trouble, and just to get them out of that, they'll call pretending to be the grandchild or a family member and saying that, please wire me money immediately, because if not, I'll go to jail, or they'll report me, or any other story that they figure out. I want to say that a lot of the information that they're currently retaining is information that we all make available through our social media. I wanted to point that out. So if I come across someone and I know that they're posting pictures or things about their grandchildren, and I get their grandchildren's name and a little bit of information from them, then I can definitely pretend to be, whoever I'm trying to. So what tactics do they use? They pretend to be someone you trust. They create a sense of urgency, kind of, we see this a lot also during tax season. you receive calls from the IRS saying you owe us money, wire us the money. If you don't do so within an hour or 2 hours, then we will have a law enforcement at your door. This will not work with many people, but it could work with some. We have to remember that in the state of Florida, we are more susceptible to scams because of three reasons, I think. We are a very transient state. We have a large senior population, and we also have, which scammers feel, well, they, empty nesters, they probably have a lot of property or saved money, financially stable. So that's why mainly they're a good target. And we also have a lot of people that are coming in from different countries. There might be a language barrier or a lack of just knowledge about the law. And for example, with the IRS, the sense of urgency, they don't know that the IRS will not call you. So it's easy to scam, right? So they use intimidation and fear, and use untraceable methods of payment. So when they ask you to wire transfers or reloadable cards or gift cards that are nearly impossible to reverse or track down. These are the kinds of things that we're looking at. So scammer tactics. I'm sorry. So scammer tactics. I'm sorry. So Florida state law about we're in the middle of really hurricane season, and we are more susceptible to scams during this season, and hopefully we won't get any major hurricanes. But we do have to be prepared for the price gouging, especially now with all the prices are already very, very high on everything. So we have to be even more aware. So Florida state law prohibits an unconcessionable increase in the price of essential commodities, okay, that are needed as a direct result of declared state of emergency due to a hurricane or other natural disaster. What we see during a hurricane season in our department is, for example, residents calling us because they have been scammed out of maybe construction work after a hurricane that they need, roofing companies, remodeling companies. We also see a lot of charitable organizations, and this is a time of the year where we have to be extra careful with them because they may be opening up charitable organizations to help victims of a hurricane. And what happens is, you send in money and these folks are not even registered with the state of Florida, which would be with us. About 4 years ago, we had a hurricane come through, and 2 days later, our department had to call about 140 different folks that were opening up GoFundMe's that were not registered with us and were soliciting money from Florida residents. Okay, so anything that you will need for an emergency, water, ice, gas, lodging, lumber, certain services, those are the kinds of things that we need to be extra careful with. So what is Florida's price gouging law? So the only applies within the area of the declared state of emergency, according to officials with Moody's office, okay? And that is our Florida State Attorney's Office. Anyone who suspects that price gouging during declared state of emergency should report it to the Attorney General's office. And I'm offering, and by using the free No Scam app or by calling the number that appears here. You also need to call our office for anything so that we may register it and we may be of assistance to you with any monies lost and reporting a company. So give us a call first. So the law, what is price gouging during a state of emergency? The law compares the reported price of the commodity or service during the state of emergency to the average price. So if something is too is $2, and all of a sudden it turns into $5 or $6, that would be a sign of a red flag. During the state of emergency too, the average price charged over the 30-day period prior to the declared state of emergency. We usually see these kinds of things with water and that kind of thing. So what are the penalties? And for in the state of Florida, it's $1,000 fine per violation, which can increase to $25,000 total within a 24-hour period. I should also say within our department, we do have law enforcement officers that work with local law enforcement officials to investigate, open cases, and arrest and process folks that are scamming our residents. So COVID-19 scams, what did we see and what are we seeing? And these are tips from our department. What we're seeing with COVID, treatment and cures, vaccine offers, test kit offers, miracle cures, Medicare related scams. These are the kinds of things that we're seeing. And we have been, and we've been seeing since the start. And we have to be careful because this is an ongoing situation. So especially treatment of children. So we have to be extra careful what they're selling us. Other scams that we saw are the cleaning supplies, the Social Security Administration scams, debit relief, mortgage, student loans, fake charities, and unemployment benefits. We did get a lot of folks that have received calls or came across folks that would say or allege that they can get you unemployment benefits because they had contacts at the state level. Well, they just knew ways to get around it. So we have to still be extra careful with all these things. Quick tips for avoiding fraud. Don't give out personal information. Sometimes without us even knowing, what we post on social media are happy moments of us and our children, our other family members. What you're actually doing is giving the scammers a roadmap of exactly easy ways to scam you and knowing how to get around you and actually becoming you. Okay. Don't be intimidated. I hear a lot of folks say, well, I have to pick up the phone. Somebody calls me, I can't be rude. I get that quite a bit. We tell you, no, please, if you are not familiar with the name that shows up on your phone, you're not familiar with the number, just let it go to voicemail. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if it's from a hospital or an institution that you are that you're aware of or you have dealings with, because what they're doing is they're using these numbers, and when you pick up the phone, it's actually a robocall. So be extra careful with that, and be extra careful what you say, because sometimes we get mad and we want to just go off on these folks. Don't, because there are ways that they can tap into the conversation and edit, and so there's a lot of new technology that is actually helping them. So when they call you back, oh, you owe us this or you owe us that. No, I don't. Well, we have you saying this or that. So be very, very careful. Don't pay with a wire transfer, gift cards, and don't rely, like I said before, on caller IDs, and ignore unsolicited offers. If you can buy anything, buy a shredder. It doesn't have to be anything expensive, but please buy a shredder. Because that will help you a lot. If you are a person or any family member takes medication, prescription medication, I should say, be careful and just be very vigilant of how you throw that bottle away once it's empty. Make sure you scratch it off. Nobody can see the name of the person that the subscription is made out to. So just be extra careful with that, and rip off the page too, okay? So have you been a victim? The first thing you need to do is report it to us, to our department. so that we can open up, Tallahassee can open up a file on your complaint. File a report with your local police, file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission, and again, first with our division and then with them. Review your credit report. You can do this once a year for free. And place a freeze or fraud alert with each of the reporting agencies. This is very important, especially if you don't foresee making any major purchases like a home, car, things that will need it. And I would strongly suggest that if you have a child ages newborn to 18, that you also put a freeze on their credit, because child ID theft is a $1 billion industry. So, and for scammers, it's a much better industry because they can go on for a lot more years and nobody's going to notice it. So there are children that are 7 years old and, have homes and cars and bank accounts. So it can definitely destroy a credit history. In our department, we have a monthly newsletter that you can subscribe for free. We have it in English and in Spanish. We also have educational pamphlets, brochures. We do these kinds of webinars on different topics. Our collateral materials is also in Spanish. And like I said, you can contact me and we'll get them out to you. These are the important numbers for our department. Our website is Florida Consumer Help is actually the link within the department website that will take you directly to us. There's a lot of information. You can look up a business, you can file a complaint, you can file tips and information on how to best protect yourself as a consumer. The number to reach us is 1-800-HELP-FLA, which is 1-800-435-7352, and 1-800-FL-AYUDA, 352-9832, 1-800-FL-AYUDA, 352-9832. And I don't know if you have any further questions.
If anyone has any questions, thank you, Consumer Advocate Perez Suarez. If anyone has any questions, you can put them in the chat, and Consumer Advocate Perez Suarez will be happy to answer your questions. One thing I'll say, I did not know about putting a freeze on a child's credit. Does the child even have credit? Like, they're so young, they have a social security number. Like that part I'm interested in knowing. Like,
yes, we actually do. I have actually a presentation on child ID theft. It is a $1 billion industry. And we all know how very important a good credit report is for everyone. And the thing is, parents are not thinking that their child's social security number can be stolen, because they're not using it for anything. I mean, unless school or doctor's office. But it is, and you can do it through just like you do your own. It's just that the three of them are going to require different documents that you're going to, prove that you can do parent or legal guardian.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I highly recommend it. Because, what I would actually do is put a freeze on their credit report, but take out, it doesn't matter the age of the child, but take out just one credit card. If you have really good credit, okay, take out one credit card, add their name to it. Of course, you're going to have to pay on time, and just make sure so that they're good credit, in the future they can have really good credit. They already start. But I would definitely do it. Check first with the credit agencies.
Okay.
because a lot of parents don't know, because it's not something you're just not going to think about it. That's why it's such a good business for them. You're really not going to think about it. So, so check with them first. And because this information, because we're thinking, well, I don't have my child's social security number on me, you know, but computers can be hacked. Your personal computer can be hacked. And now it's easier for these folks to, you know, to do everything. Technology is wonderful and it's helping us a lot, but it's also helping them. It'll be very easy for them to. I did a presentation last month, and I posted my PowerPoint had a bunch of beautiful pictures. You know, the baby picture where they put a month old with a month next to it. And then another picture was kids playing soccer. The other picture was the new car, the daughter getting the new car. The other picture was the first day of school. And for that picture, I used, I used a private school because they have the logo. And I'll tell you why. And then the other one was the first day at the university, you know, first day. And they're all pictures you want to post on social media because it's something special that you want to share with friends or people that, you know. But if you do that, as beautiful as those pictures are, you're giving me, the scammer, a wonderful roadmap of the life of your child. So I can now, with the social security number, if I get asked any questions, I can answer everything. I can tell you, my parents' name. I can answer with those pictures. I can answer the team that I played for as a child. Oh, when I was 8 years old, I played for such a soccer team. My first car was, you know, I don't know, a Toyota, you know, 4-door sedan, whatever. Then the picture I chose was a Mercedes, because now I know, or now I'll assume that there's a wealthy person. There's going to be plenty of money. My assumption. I know the school that you went to. That's why I used uniform, because it has a logo. I know the school that you went to, and then I know the college. So I know your life, and I've never met you at all. And I could be living in another country.
Wow.
because my father was in the military and we moved a lot. But, you know, I just created something that, and when they saw these pictures, I told them, what do you think is wrong with this collage of pictures? I mean, they're beautiful pictures, but what is wrong? Because there's something wrong. So they were trying to figure it out because they thought it was like something in the angle of the picture or something. I said, no, you have just given, if this is your child, you have given a roadmap to scammers, to thieves.
Yeah.
With no intention and not even thinking about it. Not even thinking about it.
So many people do it. I see the ones with vacations, when people go on vacations and they say they're out on vacation. I'm like, do you know how easy the person knows what county you're in? They can go look up your property if you're a homeowner, and look up your property and rob you while you're on vacation. So many people don't think about it.
Well, let me tell you something. We had a police officer here that his son went on vacation, 2 weeks vacation or something like that. He went on vacation, and so his son was posting everything, and they were showing. When he came back home, they emptied out his house. So they figured out, like, how would somebody, how do you do this? Because it's emptying out a house. They knew where he was the whole time. And we're also seeing another thing. Be very careful with. So at the county level, you could do property search. Right? Search your property every once in a while. If you're a homeowner, search that property because you're going in and they're stealing and they're stealing information from well, with us, it's property appraiser's office. But getting that information stolen and it'll appear as you have transferred the property. And now when I look up the property, it's under somebody else's name
Mhm.
and you did nothing.
Yeah.
Things we don't really ever think about
Yeah.
because that's not our business.
Yeah.
You know, we're the good people, but not everybody else is like that, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. We have a few questions.
Yes.
Kathy, we have a question from Kathy. She wants to know, is there any action that can be taken regarding the huge rent increases? And that's a major problem that we're seeing.
Yeah. Kathy, I would love to answer that question, to be able to answer that question. I think that is probably up to the elected officials. I don't know if it's at the county, state level. It's skyrocketed. I live in Miami-Dade County. And it's a major problem right now. Miami-Dade County Miami is the most expensive or second most expensive city in the country. I don't know what they're going to, I have no idea what they can or will be able to do. Because I mean, it affects the person renting, but it also affects, you know, the landlord, because if I'm assuming, you know, if everything is going up for the landlord, you know, they're also in the pickle. Because everything else is going up for them too. You know, it's like, so I don't know what's going to happen with the huge rent increase. I would highly recommend, you know, getting in touch with your elected officials, the folks that represent you. And I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know at the state level if there's going to be a special session. I don't know.
Yeah, that's currently the number one problem.
That's the main concern right now.
Yeah,
That's the main
a lot of
concern right
people.
now.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
we have another question from Catherine. She would like to know, how can you pull a credit report on a minor child?
So contact each of the 3 credit agencies. And first of all, you know, I'm the parent and they're probably going to ask you some personal information about the child. They'll ask you certain things. And then, you know, I want to verify if my child's ID has been stolen, and and then take it from there.
Okay.
Take it from there. Do it to it was like $15 back when we started doing this. We started working with the agencies a couple of years ago. I think it was like 9 years ago. But do it. If you have newborns, it doesn't mean if you have a 3-month-old, do it. If you have a 3-month-old, do it. Because, you know, teenagers are being scammed. We are getting phone calls from a much younger crowd now. Because of social media, because of PayPal, and you know, they're just new techniques that they can use to steal. So I had I went to I did a presentation and a while back, and a mother and daughter were at the presentation, and I started, you know, talking about this, and she turns to her mom and says, "See, that's how we got scammed." The mother, so they bought a puppy and they paid through PayPal or something. Well, excuse me. They got scammed, and then to fix the scam, they got scammed again. They were out about almost $1,000. Okay. Seniors, what do you think? People don't even like realize this. Seniors, what is the number one way they get scammed? Romance. It's the romance scam. That's the number one for seniors. So we have to be just extra vigilant. I encourage everyone to sign up for our newsletter. We're about to publish the one for July. We have it in Spanish as well. We have a lot of information. My presentations, like I said, they're free. I'm always available. The best way to reach me is via email. It's just fastest way because I travel all the time, and I have certain presentations. I have price gouging, and you're attorney, so you know a lot more about the dealings with that. But I do a presentation for low-income communities and what's their target. I do presentations for seniors and what's their target and what they have to be on the lookout for. Child ID theft, I do that. And I also covered college-bound kids in my presentation. I do presentations where how the Black community is being affected, and what we're seeing within that community targeted, and a lot of times, we just don't, I think the good thing about these presentations is a lot of people don't understand or don't know or not even aware that in the state of Florida, the Florida Department of Agriculture also does consumer. So if you have a problem with a gym contract, you're not going to think of calling Department of Agriculture. It won't, it wouldn't make sense, right? So this is why the information is so important to get it out. And what I say here and what you're talking about here, please share it with your friends, your family, your neighbors, your co-workers, because it's important. It's really, really important. An informed consumer is very important. It's important to be informed because there may be things that we're not even thinking about. For example, the new one that's coming up is the label, where you scan the label and then it downloads the Q. Q'd.
I don't know. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, that's a new scam. So if I go to a place.
Oh, someone said Q code.
Q code, okay. Q code, yes. I knew that was a Q. So the Q code, that's a new scam. That's a new scam. So I scan, because they switch around. Okay. So you could have one in a store that is legal, that is, the stores. I'll switch it up with another one that is not. So you scam thinking, it's good. You scam, then it downloads, it can steal information from your phone. And we do so much now with the phone, we have apps for like our banking apps or anything else that you may have. So that's a new one that's showing up, popping up. Look, because like I said, they go with what's hot, what's trending. So yes, it is. It is scary.
Yes.
Very scary.
We have another question. Someone wants to know, Serge Benjamin, I understand that some banks are currently targeting kids for credit cards. Is this a real bad idea?
I'm sorry, I didn't see that one.
No, it's in the Q&A section.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
So banks targeting kids, minors, for credit cards.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're targeting children for so many things. And, because they know that, especially if you're at that age of independence, oh yeah, I'll sign up for this, or I'll sign up for that. And, so we have to also make the kids really aware of what's going on. So that's why I'm saying, they can steal their credit information for anything, and they're targeting kids it could be through game card, or it could be through anything that they know is going to capture their attention. And those, oh, you don't need your parents' permission. You could do this, and you're targeting folks that the parents are going to think about it, and that the parents and they won't say anything to the parents. Oh, this is going to be between you and us. And there's always ways of going around things with kids, so we have to be really careful with that, because it could even be other students at school.
Sure.
So we have to be really, really careful with that. So it's best if you have really good credit, just get one credit card that is under the name of you and your child. And, put them as an extra person. But make sure before you do that, that you freeze their credit. And again, it doesn't matter if they're newborns.
Do it right now. Question. So since it's hurricane season, and one of the things that we normally see every year with I guess everyone is constructions where contract fraud, basically, where construction companies approach our clients and they pay them for repairs that are supposed to be made to their homes, but they disappear. What can someone do in that case?
Okay, so let me tell you what you're gonna have, what you should be looking out for. Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to check if the business is legitimate, if the business, and you could do that with us. You can check has the business had any complaints? How have those complaints been resolved? So, are they licensed? You also, because there's a lot of folks that go in like, those white vans with no company signs around the neighborhood. Oh, I was fixing so-and-so's roofs and I noticed yours was, there were cracks on yours or whatever. I could do it for $500. And of course, especially now, you want to save money. If you can do it for $500, yeah. Then they'll come in one day and then disappear. They will come in from another county as well, where you really are not going to be able to reach them. Or they'll just show up and knock on your door. Oh, I could do this and that. The first thing you need to do is, if they tell you $500 or whatever price they give you, make sure they put it in writing. First of all, look up the company. Look up, find out what are the reviews do they have, okay? And also be careful with reviews, because some people pay others for good reviews. So, you got to be careful with that. But as friends and family, who have you used? Who do you trust? Okay. Even chambers, check out the chambers. Who are chamber members? Maybe that's a good way of doing it if it's something, on the bigger side. So once you get 3 companies, do an estimate for something that whatever you need, at least 3 companies three is a good number. Make sure that you put it in writing, that you have their contact numbers, that it doesn't go to, that the number actually goes to the company. The number I give you goes with, somebody will pick up the phone on the other side. So those are the things that you have to be careful with. If you have seniors in your family that are living alone, be extra careful with them too, okay? Because a lot of times these folks, they live alone, or they're not, you don't necessarily go around to check on them often, or whatever it may be, because they will fall in this. And then to repair the matter, it's going to be a lot more expensive, or, there will be another fraud. So make sure that you contact our department, check out the business. There are businesses that are registered with us, and there are businesses that are registered with, in your case, Collier County. So make sure that you do that. So do the legwork, do the homework, because you will at the end save yourself a lot of money and a lot of headaches. Be careful how you pay them. Be careful how they request to be paid. So there's a lot of things to look out for. Maybe it's even a good time to start checking out businesses, what's the roofing, if something happens to my roof, during hurricane season, let me start checking out companies, start doing the homework early, maybe on a Saturday or midnight when you're, checking other things out. Let me see what's good, what is, what's going to work, what's not going to work, Start doing the homework early so you're not in a rush, because really, after a hurricane, just the amount of stress is horrible, and the worries and everything. So if you can have a couple of companies checked out and, beforehand, that would be good.
That's a great idea. Didn't think about that. That's really a smart idea.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing with dealing with hurricane season, and I know protecting your identification from like scams, is a lot of times people will evacuate their area, so they'll leave. I've done that in the past, where you leave your area, you can come back and your home may be destroyed. So you don't know if anyone's been in your home to, pick up your document, take anything personal with your personal information. Any advice on what someone needs to take with them if they have to evacuate their home personal information to prevent any kind of scam or ID theft later on?
I would, get copies of everything, including make photocopies back and front and back of your credit cards. Okay, front and back, but keep those at home, because if you lose your credit card, and take it also for when you travel. Okay, just a copy. All the important documents, your passports, your make copies of everything too. Just make copies of everything. I would make copies of every single thing you have that is important, and make sure you put it in a safe in a bank. Okay, just a nice safe in a bank. Put it, or if you want to copy it, download it to a disk or whatever, a chip or whatever, and put it in the bank. Make sure you do everything. Banking documents. Now they're selling these little they look like phone books. You got all your phones, but it's just for passwords and usernames. Okay, you can get them at Office Depot or Amazon or any of these. And there you can put the it comes website, comes a username, alphabetical order, like the old phone books,
Mm-hmm.
So have that. Money, just at least $100, something that you have saved, something, there, for any emergencies. A full tank is very important as well. I can tell you that, now I saw it on Amazon. I can't advertise companies, but I know where I saw it at. They look like bags, like, suitcases. They're fireproof too. Fireproof suitcases. And you could do a little extra laptop, computer with everything said, everything that is important, have on that, download it on that. Chargers, everything. You could just have it there. And it's water and fire proof. And they sell them, and there are a couple of, sizes and variety, whatever it is that, that you need. Make sure that you get your prescriptions on time for you, for your children. Make sure that everything is up to date. If you can hold onto your mail. If I know that my mail, thinking hurricane is coming, I don't know, in 2 days, you can go to the post office and have them hold your mail. When they hold your mail, make sure that you take a picture of the card that you fill out, So if there's any problem, now this is what I did, and the mail, of course, because you can go into the US Postal Services and they have check delivery. And every day you will receive, this is a free service, you'll receive an email with the pictures of every single mail piece that you will receive that day. And if you don't, you tell them, hey, I didn't receive this. Okay. So that's another thing, because that's, if you still receive mail, a lot of people do everything on the internet, but there's always something, just in case, just to cover, because you never know what can come, So those are the kinds of, medications are important. Anything that is first aid kit, that you buy that at, any drugstore has a first aid kit, that kind of thing that you just never know when you're going to need it. But all your documents, you should have, aside from the original, you should have a copy, an updated copy of everything you get.
Yeah.
And a list of emergency numbers as well. Because remember, maybe your cell phones don't work, and we rely a lot on cell phones, and we can't remember numbers anymore. We can't remember numbers like we used to, that we had to memorize, and we just, look them up, but just make sure you do that as well.
Okay. Thank you so much for that answer. Does anyone else have any questions? Any more questions? Please type in the chat. Give you another minute. Okay, I'm not seeing anything go through, but I'll just see, this is someone that said it was scary. So, let me see, there's Q&A, there's a question. Oh, not a question, but a comment. Great advice on this. So this is from Sirs. So good. Get a fireproof. Okay, I don't know if he's sending it to me. Okay, I think he's more of a comment. So he was saying this is great advice. So good. Get a fireproof bag and get the copies of important documents, driver's license, social security card, birth certificate, marriage license, etc. All credit and debit cards. In case of fire or emergency, take a bag and run. We have a list of all credit cards and important websites.
And you never know. Let me tell you something. You never know. We have a friend of ours that did just that, and she was one of the. She survived the Surfside building collapse, and she had all that in a bag. She was smart lady.
Smart, very smart.
But you just never know. You just never know when an emergency can come up. So if you can have it in a safe in the bank, if you can have a safe in your home as well, is good. It's a good thing. Please don't travel with your social security number on your purse, on your person, or that of your children. We just have to be debit cards. I just wanted to point out something about debit cards. If it's the only thing you have, okay. But if you have a credit card and a debit card, try not to use your debit card too much. Remember, that's your money. It takes longer to recuperate money from your debit card. The credit card is the bank's money. Okay. So we have to be extra careful with that, especially at the pump. Because the state of Florida, or department in the state of Florida, oversees the gas pumps and the gas stations. So we do the convenience stores, we inspect the convenience stores, but we also inspect that you're getting the amount of gas for the price. So everything matches up. Okay. So a lot of folks just find it, it's faster, more convenient to pay at the pump. Be extremely careful when you pay at the pump. We say, please, if you can pay inside, that's going to be much better. Because with the technology that they're using and the Bluetooth, what happens now is they will go, so they'll put it inside, you're not gonna know that the pump, it has been tampered with, okay? So you're gonna pay at the pump, you're going to go wherever your destination, and by the time that you reach your destination, someone in another state or in another city or 2 blocks down will receive the information of your credit card information, it will be texted to them. Okay, so cash is best, credit is even better, debit, try not to do it too often. If you can keep it to a minimum, that would be great for us. That would be our suggestion, but that's just our suggestion. Just be extra careful, especially summer. A lot of people like to drive to places, like road trips. You have to be extra careful. We also have to remember that in the state of Florida, it's just not Floridians being affected. It's also tourists. Okay, so the things that you get scammed on, the travel agencies. I had a gentleman calling me from Colombia with a Disney scam, travel scam. He lost about $3,000 in that scam, $2,000 to $3,000 a while back. So, yeah, so that is, so that's something that we have to look out for. Okay. I was just, Tatiana, I was just actually reading, I found it. S. Benjamin, I understand that which is the one I had answered. I understand that some banks are currently targeting kids for credit cards. Is this a really bad idea? I'm assuming college-bound kids. Is that it?
If it's
or are they pretending to be banks?
He says targeting kids. So I guess
maybe college-bound kids.
Yeah, because we know in college it happens. At those football
college.
games.
Yeah, college has a couple of different things that they're doing with college kids. And when you're in college and you're nothing's ever going to happen to me. That happens to you because you're ignorant, but it's not going to happen to me. I mean, this just goes with the age.
Yeah, we all remember from college is like, I remember like you want a free t-shirt, like, sign up for a credit card. It was just that easy. You had no credit and you're like 18 and it's like, you want a credit card? Like, oh, sure. Until you get the bill, you start using it and rack up the bill.
Oh, he says children. Okay. Wow. Well, yeah, because they probably. Is this Benjamin S. Benjamin? Is this any particular bank, or just bank in general? I haven't come to tell you the truth. I haven't come across that. I wouldn't. I mean. And there are also so many new payment methods,
Yeah.
So we have to be super
careful. Well, you said they're starting early. That's why you're recommending the free.
Right. I'm not right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Children cannot enter contracts. Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
But
go ahead.
no, that was it.
That was it. Okay. If there's can you report a non-custodial parent for using a child's social security credit? Ooh. Oh. Credit to
see, that's the I will check up on that. I think you would want to check what the 3 agencies do. because maybe one agency has,
Mhm.
different rules than the other, but that's the problem with stealing the child's social security number.
Mhm.
Because let's say that child turns, 18 and, whatever, independent. Now I want to run my credit report. I have a horrible credit. And I say, well, how can I have a horrible credit? Now I'm independent. Like I've never bought a house. I've never had anything that to like reflect a bad credit. Now that child is going to have to prove that their credit card, their ID was stolen. Well, how am I going to prove that? See, and the problem comes that unfortunately, some people that shouldn't be are or may be using that child's ID for other benefits. And
should you
sometimes
report
it's not
that?
a sometimes it's not a hacked computer,
Mhm.
but sometimes it's, unfortunately, people that shouldn't be doing that.
Should you
People that are
report
close to
them?
the child. People that are close to the child. I mean, I'm not saying that is every case. That's not the case either. But then the child is going to have to prove, well, how do I, the other person's going, well, how do I know that it's not, that it wasn't your parent? I'm talking as the person that, they're trying to prove to. Well, how do you know it's not your legal guardian? How do you know it wasn't them? To better, how do you know that there was a computer hack? And you're not going to know at 18 or 19. You're just not going to know, So I am sure that they're going to require some kind of documentation or proof that, you would need some kind of a proof that is happening. Mhm.
And who should you report it to? Is the police filing a police report if you know?
You would first of all check your local law enforcement agency.
Mhm.
Now, there's the locals have law enforcement have financial fraud divisions that deal with financial fraud. So I would contact them first to get a report. Exactly. You can't, but on the other side, you would have to prove to me that, like anything else, you would have to prove to me on the other side that, well, how did you lose it? I don't know how I lost it. So yeah, you're right. You can't be held accountable, but they'll be asked. So that's what we're really trying to avoid, because it will become a headache for them. And then to clean your record will take years and years and years and years. We had a case here of a girl that was in foster care. So once 18 hit, she was independent. She couldn't get a car. She couldn't get anything because her credit had been destroyed, and how it was stolen or who stole it, no idea. No idea. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's very sad.
it is. Oh, your local police authority, like your local police, that's what Consumer Advocate Press was stated earlier, Catherine.
Oh, yes. Well, the at least at the county level, they have a financial fraud division.
Mhm.
So I would definitely contact their financial fraud division. Contact us so that we can have a report and that we can assist you with anything that you may have. Remember, we're a statewide agency, so no matter where in the state of Florida, you contact the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, our division. So yeah. But contact them, because then they can open up an investigation, and because you never know, maybe they're already working on a case or other cases, and that may even have a tie-in with your case. You just never know. You just never know. I work with the Broward Sheriff's Office, multiple times in their financial fraud division, and they do great work. So I'm sure Collier County does too. I have a soft spot for Collier County. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jacinta. Thank you.
Well, it doesn't look like we
Thank
have
you,
any more
Vivian.
questions, and we're at it's after 1 now. So
Oh,
thank
okay.
you. Thank you.
I'm sorry I took long.
No, you did not take long. Thank you for spending your time with us today. We appreciate it. Thank you everyone for the questions, and we hope you enjoyed the training, and thank you Consumer Advocate Perez Suarez for your time, and we appreciate it. Great information, great materials. We will share the
Oh, thank you, Geraldine.
information.
Thank you. Thank
We
you.
will-
Thank you so much for having me. You know, Collier is, like I had said, my second home. And I'm so appreciative for you all answering my request to come and speak. And I hope to do it again. Any other topics that you will be interested in me covering. And I'm so glad. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you everyone for your lovely comments, and you know, and I am here for whenever you need me. Contact me again via email. It's just the fastest way for me. My presentations are in Spanish as well. I cover a lot of different topics of interest, and I will make myself available on a day and time that is just more convenient. And I hope to continue working with your organization. And again, you know, you have my contact information. Please feel free to reach out to me. We are always super happy to provide information and assistance as much as we can. And our department doors are always open to all Floridians and visitors alike.
Thank you. That is really great to know.
Thank
Thank you, Consumer Advocate Perez Suarez, and thank you everyone else, and have a great afternoon.
And take care. Great summer.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.